In those days, you put a dime in a machine and you got 4 pictures about that size. And then one of the pictures, I looked quite a bit like Lunt looked in The Guardsman, because it was kind of oriental with the eyes like that. It inspired me to write a letter, and I wrote a very cocky letter, which was not like me at all, and I didn't really mean it. But nobody ever answered me, so I figured I was at the 42nd Street. There was a wastebasket one side and a letter box on the other. And I said, what should I do? Should I mail it or throw it away? And because of the 2 cents, I said, I can't waste 2 cents, I mailed it. And a week later, I got a phone call at the theater box office. And the girl there, from Brooklyn or the Bronx or someplace, says, hey, miss, a dame on a phone named Fontaine wants to talk at you. I said, what? Because no one ever called me. I couldn't believe I'd get a phone call. And that's how it began. I read for the secretary, and the next night I read for the Lunts, and they evidently liked me, although they wondered what country I came from because of my accent. And I later read for the Theater Guild, and through the Lunts, I got my first stage appearance, an equity card. And later, when they did Taming of the Shrew, they hired me. I did a 33,000 tour with them, which was, I learned more about acting than in any school, watching Lunt and watching her. They were the greatest Petruchio and Catherine of all time. And Sidney Greenstreet, the big fat man.
Oh, yeah.
He was marvelous.
Sure.
So I understudied Christopher Sly, I understudied Thomas Gomez, and that's how I began. And then, of course, the war came, and I joined up in the Air Corps. And when it was over, I was discharged on the West Coast. And Richard Worf, who had played Christopher Sly, whom I'd understudied with the Lunts, I called him. I was still in uniform. And he said, get out here, get out to Metro. He was at MGM as a director. And it was so simple, it was unbelievable. Because what was so difficult in New York, maybe, I don't know, the doors were open. And he took me to the casting director, Billy Grady. They arranged a scene from Golden Boy, which I did. I thought I was horrible. I thought I was dreadful. But Clifford Odets was pretty good writing. And they signed me to a contract. And that was the happiest moment of my life. And after World War II, the most exciting place in the world to be was the MGM commissary at lunchtime. The first day I saw Clark Gable, I died. This big black head, you know, this great look of Gable. And later he became a good friend. I did 3 films with him. Katharine Hepburn, even Garbo, the Marx Brothers, Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland, Alana Turner, Ava Gardner. I mean, that was exciting. I mean, heads of state went there and were thrilled, because each luncheon that you had at Metro, each luncheon was a special experience and a memory.
Was there a lot of politicking going on in those days? Who would sit at what table with whom?
Yeah, I guess I guess there was. I wasn't aware of it because I was too eager and too young and too grateful. I mean, to me it was manna from heaven. And I was fortunate. I got some pretty good parts. I played Goldberg in Command Decision, which was a great play. Goldberg was a bombardier who bombed the wrong target. It was a good scene, one scene, but what a good scene, very good scene. Then I played Monk Monkovitz in Cass Timberlane. Lana Turner was my girlfriend. My enemy was Spencer Tracy. He was Monk was a Polish boy who died. He was from Hamtramck, Michigan. He died because of Gable's negligence as a doctor in World War II. I played all the ethnic minority groups, you know. At the time, you didn't have the Al Pacinos and De Niros, so you had me. And they were good parts. They were marvelous parts.
You said you picked up a lot of acting from Mr. Lunt and Ms. Fontaine, but how about in cinema? Is it the same? Can you pick up on the set?
Oh yeah. I don't like technique. I really don't, but...
What about one of the greatest actors of all-time cinema, Spencer Tracy?
Great.
Would you agree he was one of the greatest?
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tracy was phenomenal. We had a scene, Little Italian Restaurant, and Tracy was this close to me. And we sat on the set because it was such a cute little set, Italian restaurant with the artificial vines and so forth. And Lana Turner was late. quite a bit late. So we sat talking and so forth and so on. And when we finally did the scene, Tracy goes so low that I could not hear him from here to here, but I could read his lips. I knew the cue, I knew the lines. But I thought, this is the way you do it. Then I would go see the projection, the rushes. It took your breath away.